Well, all right, guys, Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube, and I'm back to some of my old tricks. This is the ShockStop suspension stem. You guys know I've used these stems in the past to give my bikes, my gravel bikes, a little bit of comfort up here, a little bit of suspension for many years. So I had one of the original models. I was trying to look back at some of my old YouTube videos. I think I started testing these about 8 years ago under some grueling conditions. And when I say grueling, I've had this stem on multiple bikes of mine, bikes that I've used for commuting, bikes that I've used for leading group gravel rides, bikes that I've done gravel races on. I've never had a failure and always had, superior performance from this brand, Redshift Sports ShockStop suspension. So I've had the original ShockStop suspension. I still have my original. That stem has been on about 6 or 7 different bikes over the years. The last one I had it on was almost an identical bike to this. It was an aluminum Checkpoint ALR4. So anyway, this is my riding partner's new bike. She's fairly new to this type of cycling. Almost brand new to this type of cycling, and she wants a little bit of comfort for her shoulders, her neck, and a little bit more rise. So without having to buy a fancy carbon fiber bike with integrated suspension, I'm able to mount something like this product right here, and give the rider a bit more comfort. So you can see it just comes in a small package. This is a version 2, so now it comes out with a Pro model. The Pro model is quite a bit less weight, has some titanium hardware, and in cycling we pay for grams. So I think this one's a little over 200 grams, and the version 1, like I've been using for years, is about 250 grams, 260 grams. So about 50 grams less and about $50 more. So to me it was worth it. I'm a little bit bougie. I like kind of the two-tone. You can see on there the new one has a two-tone paint job. So this is an 80 millimeter with a 6-degree either rise, or if you turn it upside down, 6-degree negative or 6-degree positive. And inside here there's some little elastomer pucks that you can fine-tune the ride with. So the instructions do come with a weight chart. I'm gonna go on the light side with this so she can really feel some suspension dampening. But I've raced with this suspension, and to me, having a few more grams than the original stem, the amount of comfort that I get over the long haul has, I think, really made a difference for me. For me, using this urban, sometimes the roughest streets or the urban environment, I use my bike for commuting back and forth to work. And after, a long day at work, it's nice to have a little bit of comfort. Of course, on a gravel bike, we do have, wider volume tires, lower volume, higher air volume, lower pressure tires that you can really mitigate the ride with a bit. But it's sure nice to have a little something up in your stem. I raced a Specialized Diverge for a long time. It's actually the bike I'm going to be taking on my gravel adventure to Sardinia, Italy. So it's the bike that I have here in Europe with me to do road riding and gravel riding. And that bike has a dedicated, system that's proprietary to the Specialized. I've had that system fail a few times. I know I sold Specialized bikes for many years. So, over the years, I've had a lot of people buy the Delete kit because they're tired of messing around with a little rubber boot or the suspension components that can go bad. After 8 hard years of use, my original Redshift Sports stem is still ready to go. So, it was a quick fix to add a little bit of suspension to this bike for my riding partner's comfort. And, for a new rider, You know, a lot of us that have coming off road bikes and stuff are used to, especially old guys like me, we used to pump our tires up to 100, 120 PSI. We wanted that real stiff ride, where we're learning now that vibration difference makes vibration dampening makes a big difference in the efficiency of the tires. So, you know, tires, even on the Pro Peloton, you're seeing pros use 30 millimeter tires and tubeless and going with 60 or 70 pounds. So I believe that the body does that too. So, you know, if you can help your body, help your shoulders, help those vibrations from coming up through your neck in the first place, it's going to make the ride more enjoyable, and you can stay in position a little bit longer. So I'm going to go to work. I don't know if you can see the little pucks in there, but I'm going to, you know, fine tune this before I put it on the bike, because once you get it on the bike, you can't get these out to take them. You have to take the whole thing back apart, which is not a big deal. I'm stuck in Europe without a bike shop to my disposal, and you know, you can do this with an Allen wrench set. So that's what I'm getting ready to do, is swap this stem out. And I'm also going to be doing a long-term review. You know, to me, 50 grams lighter is, I can feel the difference. You know, I'll buy into the hype. You know, I like to save grams when I can, and this is a very solid system. I don't think just because it's 50 grams less, you know, roughly 50 grams less, so you guys are getting ready to send me a YouTube comment. I'd appreciate it. Maybe someone can, you know, can compare the Redshift Sports stem to the Redshift Sports Pro and tell me exactly what the weight difference is in a 80 millimeter stem. So I don't have that information in front of me. And of course, you guys know me. I'm kind of less into the technical data and more into the how this thing works in longevity, and really how on a budget you could make an aluminum bike like this a very, very capable bike for even higher end situations. So more to come on the new Redshift Sports Pro model on a bike that I want my riding partner to be comfortable on. You know, especially a new rider. Some of us that are used to the rigors of, you know, a rougher situation, that are used to being in a, you know, in a tucked position, and used to, you know, having a neck. I do yoga for my neck. So, but you know, a newer rider needs a bit of comfort, especially when they're first coming into a bike. So, you know, like I was talking about a minute ago with the road bike tires and road bikes, like these have come a long way. These are 45 millimeter tires that come stock, and I can, you know, they're coming tubeless, and I can run this bike down to like 50 PSI or so. And that does help, but it's sure nice to have a little something up here too when the roads get rough. And right out back here, the gravel roads start right behind here, and they're rocky. So I think, you know, in different situations in Biloxi, Mississippi, where I'm coming from, we have a lot of sand base, and the sand actually is a vibration dampening. When you're running on rocks and stone, it's nice to have as much as you can get. And for $250 and, you know, 250 grams, so, you know, do the math on that. I didn't have to go buy a $5,000 gravel bike to get a little suspension put in the front end. And the weight, really, especially with this Pro model, is not much. And it looks cool. So I think this bike originally came with about a 90 millimeter stem. So we're going to go down just a little bit, and I think that's going to help her fit as well. So more to come, like I said, on the Redshift Sports Pro suspension stem. Kind of a suspension on a budget, even though it's not an inexpensive product. It's definitely not a cheap product as well. So, you know, when I put mine through the test, and I've got 8 years out of use out of it, and I can go put it on my next gravel bike, to me that's worth it. And when I think about the vibration dampening of the carbon fiber frames, have gotten good. On my aluminum checkpoint, I put the suspension stem on. On my carbon model, I haven't had to, so the carbon is, you know, helping that vibration that's coming up through from the ground through the fork into the headset and handlebars. But once again, that bike is several $1,000s more than this bike. And when it's said and done, this is going to have 10 to 20 millimeters of suspension built into the stem for $250. To me, that's a bargain. So I'm going to get to work on changing this puck out, put this on the bike because it's getting beautiful here in France and I want to go for a ride. So more to come, like I said, on the Redshift Sports. If anybody has any questions, I've been using the stems for about 8 years and I've been very happy with the performance. People ask me about it all the time. Hey, how's that thing work? It works great. I owned a bike shop, you know, so I can have pretty much whatever I wanted. And I really liked, you know, having an aluminum framed gravel bike for a commuter bike and adding this small piece of gear here, and it worked out awesome for me. So I don't own the bike shop anymore, so I had to pay full price for this. But Redshift Sports, pay attention to the views on my video. I'd like to test some more of your products, and I can't just afford to buy the seat post and all the other stuff right now. So help me out. I'll showcase your products, but I'm also going to give real reviews. So if something doesn't work good, I'll let my viewers know that as well. And I think, you know, most stand-up companies want that kind of feedback. So Redshift Sports, suspension stem has always worked good for me. Owning the bike shop, I use several of their other products on my customers' bikes, the suspension seat posts and stuff. We never had any problem. Never had any problem with Redshift Sports stuff. So good stuff. It's not inexpensive, but then again, it's not cheap. So that's what happens a lot of times. If you go too inexpensive, you get cheap products. This holds your handlebars. You don't want this to fail, especially on a gravel road. And if you have a new rider that you want to get into the sport, and I want my riding partner to like this sport, a little bit of comfort goes a long ways. Remember that. Redshift Sports Stems, Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube. If you like what I do, please like and subscribe, and you'll see a lot more video coming out. Now that I don't own the bike shop, I hope to, you know, do some stuff with the YouTube channel. Even, gosh, let me show you guys this before I end this video. This really doesn't have to do with the Redshift Sports Stem, but take a look at that. That's my new business card that came in today. It's the Bicycle Rider YouTube. It's also going to be linked to my Bicycle Rider Facebook when I get that working again. I'm going to start a Bicycle Rider Instagram this evening, I hope, and also TikTok to help you know, promote the channel. So I'll do more of my business card, and I'm also going to ask some of my viewers for help because I've got a Bicycle Rider YouTube or Bicycle Rider Facebook page that I can't get into. I haven't used it for years. I wish I would have been using it over the last few years, but I was really trying to promote Biloxi Bicycle Works, my bicycle shop. So anyway, you guys back at Biloxi Bicycle Works, shout out to you, man. Hopefully everything's going good, and I'll catch up with you guys soon. Same to my viewers. New camera coming tomorrow, Osmo X5. It's a 360 camera. It's supposed to be awesome. So give some new stuff a try here for the channel. Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube, over and out, and of course a lot more to come on the Redshift Sports suspension stem. Well, these are the kind of gravel roads that are all around the neighborhood here, and I have the new suspension stem installed here. And how does it feel? Feels good, yeah. I mean, it's something that you really don't notice it until you hit a little bump. Yeah. But there it is right there. Redshift Sports suspension stem Pro, of course, for my riding partner's got the Pro model. But we're gonna put it to the test. We'll be doing all kinds of adventure riding. And this little stuff will get you the little bumps on these connector roads, and I'm sure glad that they have them here. It's kind of cool. That's where the suspension stem comes in handy. Marissa's enjoying the Redshift Sports stem. Around here, there's a lot of little dirt road connectors, and it's nice when you have suspension for that. And if, you know, you hit some of these potholes in the road, and sometimes that's what's nice about living in a rural area, is you do have roads that are off the beaten path. Anytime you can add a little comfort for not too much money, that'll pretty much fit on any gravel bike, you know, not a bad deal, is it?
Yeah, no, very important for my neck.
Yeah. Oh, and look how beautiful it is riding around right now. Golden hour. Golden hour doing product testing. I like my new job. I like my new riding partner. I'm glad you're happy with the stem, baby.